We're going to hop into agree or disagree. We're going to be reading a couple of statements, and essentially you got the 2 in your hand. It's if you agree with it, agree. If you disagree, you say agree, and then we'll argue with each other.
We'll count it down from 3.
Yep. All right. The Spider-Verse movies have the best Miles Morales character or characterization we've ever gotten. 3, 2, 1. Agree. I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, and I'm not a gamer, so I can't even tell you the game version to that extent to even argue it.
What do you think about the game version?
The game version's great.
Yeah.
Everything about the games is great. I think they do justice to every character they touch, probably. But I mean,
what we're talking about?
Yeah,
like a movie that's considered like the greatest comic book films of all time.
I think Spider-Verse Miles is the best Spider-Man we've ever gotten, and I don't think he'll be topped. No. We just got the privilege of seeing Across the Spider-Verse in concert 2 days ago, and I'm just reminded that the decision to make him the first anomaly in that universe is one of the most brilliant writing decisions I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. I'm still floored by that decision and how it influences him as a character and the characters around him and the universe. It's just so brilliant. Yeah, love it so much.
I really love it. I'm throwing a convention in Sacramento, and I'm booking the game voice adaptation of Miles to be a guest there. So that's going to be cool. You know what I mean?
The Dark Knight trilogy is overrated.
3, 2, 1.
Disagree. He says agree.
A tad.
No.
Very barely.
Because you're lower on Rises.
I think Rises is not good. And I think there are parts of The Dark Knight that could be considered not good. I still think it's a great movie. But a lot of people say that it's not like the best Batman movie. It's just like a good movie, but it's not the best Batman movie. So you can make that argument about that. But they're still great movies overall. I just think Rises is... And people act like it's literally the best. Like, if you don't like something in it, like, you're just, like, wrong.
You know, I think, at least from my point of view, I felt like Rises has always gotten mixed reviews. I like Rises, but I think Rises just came out after The Dark Knight, and it was just set up to not be... You know what I mean? That was
hard act to follow.
Exactly. Like, you know, I think if it would have been second and not third, I think people would have had a different... I think they would have just seen it gradually become a better trilogy. But, I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I love it.
Me too. What do you think of Batman Begins?
I like it. I like the universe they built, and I like how it turned into the Penguin. I don't like it more than Christian Bale's Batman film. But it's also... I didn't like Batman Begins at the same level that I like Dark Knight. So I look at a movie one, as long as you like it, wait for the rest before you make an opinion fully, because their second one might have the Dark Knight response. So I'm still excited about what's next. But, you know, I think it's so much comparison, and I just think it's still in development.
Yeah, well, in terms of, I've seen so many people say that The Batman from 2022 is one of the best, or if not the best superhero movie of all time. And even though I agree with everything you just said, let's wait for the future, etc., I don't see that personally. First, for me, I'm of the opinion that The Dark Knight is the best live-action superhero movie of all time. I think Batman Begins, the 2005 Christopher Nolan one, is second in terms of live-action superhero movies. But I do buy the criticism that you have, that you're right, it's not a proper Batman universe, but if there's any superhero character that you can do a realistic adaptation with, it is Batman.
And I think I like the Batman character more in The Batman, in a sense of like how they made him, the detective that he is, and it's more... you could say comic accurate of that character. But I don't think the whole thing... I also think it's cinematically better than The Dark Knight. I'll say that. But Dark Knight just was more exciting. I just liked it better. I love the depiction of Penguin, though.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, I love that.
The Henry Cavill Superman suit is awesome.
3, 2, 1.
Agree. No.
I'm borderline on it.
It's a blue blob. I really think he needs the red in the middle. I kind of like what they did with New 52. I understand. I don't like taking away the trunks, but with him, it's a more red belt.
Yeah.
But really, it's just blue.
The new suit, I like it, but I kind of don't like the bagginess of it.
The David Corn sweatsuit.
But I like the look of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanna
there's
see it in
something I
action.
will pick at all of them.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But I just felt like Cavill's suit. He just looked more like a badass.
Sure, but
He just it brought a gangster approach out of Superman. You know what I mean? Like this is not a guy to play with.
It worked. I think most people look at it and like it's visually pleasing, but I think it could be better. That's why I was borderline.
I do think he looks freaking phenomenal in the black.
Yeah, absolutely.
The black
Yeah.
looks great. I do wish he had a mullet, but like the black did look good. I will. Yeah, I'm never going to
One
say he
mullet
doesn't
away from
look good.
perfect.
Yeah, for me. But no, I think the black suit is really, really sharp in the Snyder cut. But in terms of speaking of suits, what are some of your favorite suits? What are the most from comics, superhero media? Like, what's your Mount Rushmore of looks?
Suits.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's Batman.
Correct.
Ben Affleck's Batman.
Correct.
The same reason why I like Henry Cavill's Superman. They just look like this is the Justice League you do not want to run into.
Yeah.
That's my number one.
Yeah, me too.
Trying to do a quick rundown. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Amazing Spider-Man suit.
Which one?
Can't say I've done a big of a distinctive difference between
No,
the
there's
two.
a huge difference.
You're thinking of the second one.
I was gonna say it's probably the second one
It
because
is.
when I think of that movie, I always think of Gwen Stacy's death first.
Yes.
So that suit.
Yes.
That suit is the big white eyes, right? The first one has the gold eyes that were
Yeah.
the sunglasses. It's not a great. I don't like the Amazing
Yeah.
Spider-Man 1 suit at all. The second suit, though, completely agree. It's
Yeah.
the best Spider-Man suit we've gotten.
I love that suit. Trying to just do a quick run through of all the characters. I would definitely still say Deadpool. You know,
Yeah.
I love Deadpool's suit.
As far as the MCU goes, I mean, Iron Man's suits he's got some good
Yeah,
ones.
it's Iron Man.
The Iron Man Mark III is unreal.
just progressively just kept getting cooler. I remember when he first did when he introduced the nanotech in Infinity War, the whole crowd went, "Ooh!"
Oh yeah, we were like, oh,
So yeah, that's probably that'd be my fourth.
those are all good. Cool.
His suits were great from the gate, though.
Yeah.
I love that they gave the nod to the bleeding edge armor without doing the bleeding edge armor. You know what I'm saying? Like where in the comics, it's in his skin and it comes out, and that's what they did with the nanotech. But they didn't do that because I think MCU audiences wouldn't have bought that.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a cool. I think the MCU was always good at taking something from the comics that it might be a tad too silly for audiences and just taking it like one step back but still doing it. They do a really good job of that with Zola in Winter Soldier, where he's not a walking around robot with a computer in the stomach, but he's a computer. He's absolutely a computer, I think is...
Yeah, true.
Kind of like what they did with Superman. Like he's not a bird in a plane. He's a man.
No.
DC is always more fantastical. I'm not giving that to you. You may have cooked me though. I'll give you that one.
I couldn't resist that.
No, you're good. You're good. The Hulk hasn't been nerfed in the MCU. I don't even know why I included this. 3, 2, 1, disagree.
Completely
I
different.
mean,
No.
goodness gracious.
But there are levels to it. It's disgusting.
It was going well for a while.
Yes.
And then when it got bad, it was a train wreck. And the Hulk's my favorite character, so I get utterly offended when it comes to Hulk conversations.
It just sucks that we haven't seen him.
Yeah. No no redemption.
Yeah, like I've said this before. Like, if you really think about it, since the Avengers from 2012, it's been 12 years. Since the Avengers, we have not seen Hulk really do anything. He has lost almost every battle he's been in. He fights the Hulk, the wolf from Hela's wolf, but he loses to Iron Man in the suit. He loses to Thanos. He loses to Thor in the arena.
Yeah.
And then he's Smart Hulk.
Yeah.
Who doesn't come
Then he's
out.
useless.
And he gets beat by Thanos, and then he's too scared to come out, and then he's Smart Hulk.
Yeah.
That's the Hulk we've gotten.
In my mind, when he wouldn't come out the suit in Infinity War, I'm thinking he's saving his rage, and by the end of Endgame, he's going to whoop Thanos' ass.
Oh, it would have been so awesome.
And he's not even in the fight. It blows up the station. He's underground, and he's just trying to get from underground, like almost the entire fight.
Yeah, we don't see him fight in Endgame really at all.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that, and it's just
One of the original 6.
Yeah,
Spider-Man is the greatest superhero of all time.
3, 2, 1.
Agree. Wow.
I agree.
Why is this shocking?
Oh, I'm surprised.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He's the
He's
GOAT.
He's not my favorite character.
but you think he's the greatest superhero?
Yeah, he's the greatest.
Wow.
The only person I would rival in terms of just pure superhero, there's always Superman is always in that conversation.
Of course.
But Static Shock, that would be the only other, like, in terms of superheroes that I would even compete. And I think it can go either way.
Mm-hmm.
But just because of the full history legacy of it, I'm going with him.
You don't go Batman up there at all because he's
no.
not
Oh,
a
God, no.
superhero.
No, not even that. I just think he's done so much bad with the good.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's in the conversation.
Wow, that's
Like,
crazy.
not in the terms of publicity or stardom or fame. Not in that conversation.
Yeah.
Batman cannot pick up Thor's hammer. He will not be able to do it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man can. That's the difference. That's what I'm talking about in a sense of like good superhero. Like it's more in his heart. Batman's holding on to too much that he won't let go.
Yeah.
Even though he tries.
So he's the purity of the character.
The purity of the character. Yeah. Not in terms of like I said, I like Batman. I like Batman more.
Yeah.
But you said best superhero now.
Yeah, because that's kind of the angle I'm going for. Is I just like Batman more. I think
I like Batman more.
the
if that's
nuance
the
of the character is more.
Gotham is just brilliant to me. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Joker is my favorite character.
Yeah.
I love Gotham. But no, in the sense of like the purity of the character, to me, no, it's not Batman.
Gotcha. Solid. Are Batman and Spider-Man the two characters with the two best rogues galleries in all superhero media?
Batman, hands down. Spider-Man, yeah.
You think Spider-Man's second place though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just both of them. Like it feels like so many characters have one guy, and then they've got
Maybe
like a secondary guy, maybe a tertiary guy.
They can go so deep in their bag of villains. And,
It's crazy.
They're like their number 6 is still better than a lot of people's number 1.
Exactly.
The Spider-Man Rogues Gallery is so good and so deep that they had to give his 6th best villain to Daredevil, Kingpin.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I still think Batman takes it mainly because of the Joker.
Yeah.
Because you don't think Spider-Man has the guy?
Spider-Man does not have someone that's even remotely close to the same level as the Joker.
But I would.
Goblin is so good though.
Yeah,
Goblin
he's
is
not the Joker.
Goblin is good, but it's a clear second place. It's still a clear second to Joker.
Yeah.
But you know, it is. Batman just has a lot, man.
Yeah.
Like we still haven't even gotten the proper Deathstroke in a live
No.
action. You know what I mean?
No.
Like there's so many like even going away from just the rogues, the anti-heroes, Red Hood, just it's insane.
Yeah.
How many lead role characters they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's one of the reasons Gotham is so interesting because it's a little the show Gotham.
Yeah.
It's a retelling and it's not all comic accurate or whatever, but like you just get they do so many characters in that show.
Yeah.
Hugo Strange, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, Firefly, 2 different versions of the Joker.
Yeah.
Like you get with the Riddler, the Penguin, all the crime families, Maroni, Falcone. There's so much in there. Yeah.
Because like I could say like this, like if I heard that there was gonna be a Green Goblin solo film or project, I'd watch it. I don't know if I'd be like, oh, this is what I've been waiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you hear the Joker's gonna have a whole solo, you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Joker,
and even that with the Penguin.
Joker's clearly.
What did you think of Joker 2019, the movie?
The first one.
Joker 20. Oh, I'm thinking that's just a title. I'm like Spider-Man 99.
No,
I'm like, wait, what Joker is that? I enjoyed it enough. I didn't love it as much as everybody else did.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And a part of the reason, which is, I guess, I don't know if I still have to say spoilers for the new Joker, but there it is. A part of the reason why I didn't like that movie is I just felt like that was not the Joker.
Yeah.
And then they showed us it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
Yeah, it seems like obviously like that's the story they were telling is that like, oh, you thought this guy was going to become the Joker, but really he wasn't the whole time.
And I knew he
that's
wasn't
cool.
the
You
whole
told
time.
that story well. I just think that's stupid.
Yeah.
You made the whole movie pointless.
Yeah. And I knew that though. My whole against that movie when I did have things to speak out about was, for one, he's way too much older than Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
So it's like, how old is he going to be when Batman becomes Batman? You know what I mean? And then the other part that I genuinely hated about that film is there was no depiction of real intelligence. The Joker is a genius.
Yeah.
This guy was just living with his mom and having mental health issues, but nothing showed that he'd be able to outsmart Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Or anybody for that matter. He was just crazy.
Correct.
So I didn't like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
me neither.
So that's there. I had my grunges with it because I love the Joker. But overall, as a movie, it was a great movie. Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing job acting and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my problem.
And the final one is James Gunn should not be trusted with DC.
3,
Two,
2,
one.
1.
Disagree,
Yeah.
disagree. But I think we all have different reasons for saying that. So why do you say disagree? Just because his track record?
Yeah, James Gunn probably is. I think about all the time. He's probably my favorite comic book film director.
Wow.
I love James Gunn's work. So even he has work like Peacemaker, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and not just saying that because John Cena endorsed me recently, but I had made videos already on just how much I love the depiction and like just the struggle of Peacemaker.
Yep.
And that's not even in the conversation of James Gunn's top
best.
projects.
Yeah.
I just think he's dope. I
Yeah.
just love his work. You know what I mean? So I look at him as if there's a guy who can bring DC to where it needs to be, he's definitely one.
Certainly.
Of them. Yeah. I don't think he's the end all be all. There's always can be mistakes and things done incorrectly. It's always going to be something you disagree with, but he got it.
Yeah.
My number one reasoning for saying disagree is just like everything he has said about the stuff that's coming out. Like the whole DC fandom experience where he was like, all right, we got this and this is why we're doing this and this and this. Like his knowledge of the comics is clearly extensive and just everything he's saying about Superman. I couldn't be more excited for that movie.
I think he's dope. I wouldn't be as excited for Superman if someone else was directing it. I'll say
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also, maybe it's just because it's so refreshing to not have the Snyder feeling over everything. I mean, it was a joke, but like you showed that.
I'll say this though. I also love Zack Snyder. I don't
Clearly, you got 300 in your
I don't
fucking
love
top.
everything that he did, but I also don't fully blame him for the crash of the DCEU because I think they tried to catch Marvel instead of properly executing everything. Because I do love what he did with Watchmen.
Yeah,
No, absolutely
I
not.
think that's the most comic accurate live action film of all time.
No,
I disagree with you. I haven't watched. I haven't watched Watchmen. I haven't read Watchmen comics, but I looked up comic accurate movies before this, including a video by Coy, who knows way more than comics with anyone at this table combined, and almost all the lists had Watchmen on it.
No, like that's
beautiful.
fine, but like
It was beautiful, man.
Andrew, it would be like somebody writing a book based on Shang-Chi the movie and not doing a big CGI dragon battle at the end. The Watchmen book has a big fuckery at the end, and they do not do that in the movie.
I'm just telling you.
Confirm?
Yeah.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Like,
But I just feel like
now the Rorschach is good, but they do
I just also think you have to
I trust
also,
Coy.
You also have to put into consideration too that these types of films at that time were still being chiseled into what we now see, where it was a pioneer.
Yeah, you couldn't do that back then. I get that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But then I also can't give you that is as comic accurate as something else if we're talking about like Mask of the Phantasm. Or like if we're talking about like the most I just can't or compared to Invincible and how comic accurate I hear that Invincible is.
But I
every
also
day.
think that that's easier with animation than it is with live action, especially in that time of live action.
No,
you know what I mean? Like you can just do that easier when you're animating versus now these people you have to visually appeal the audience. I just think if that same movie was to come out today, it would be even better.
Sure.
But back to the meme was, the Crypto the dog, and he did that little paragraph, James Gunn, online, and it was just like, and someone tweeted like, this would be Crypto in the Snyderverse, and it was like a dog standing on its hind legs with like an AK-47.
Yeah, it was like a super buff dog.
Yeah, and it's like
Clifford the big red dog next to him. It's like, whoa, what is Clifford doing?
I feel like
here?
I could just look at everything James Gunn is putting out and the love he has for these characters and how he feels about them and thinks about them,
For
and
sure.
I can just go,
James Gunn is a better comic book director than Zack Snyder. That's not a debate.
Yeah.
I personally like Zack from past projects that I've enjoyed, but I can admit I've seen a lot of work that this is not it.
Yeah.
So what do you prefer? What's your favorite Zack Snyder DC project?
DC, like in the DCEU?
Yeah.
Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. But Watchmen is my favorite overall. I don't know if we consider that in the DCEU.
No, that doesn't count.
Okay, that's why I separated.
That's not what
that.
I was asking. I just over the Snyder cut.
I love that one too.
I love the Snyder cut.
You know what's funny about the Snyder cut? I was one of the few people who did not understand what I was about to watch. I was oblivious, and I'm watching the trailer, and I'm like, "Oh, cool, Justice League 2," and I'm like watching it. I'm like, I feel like I've seen this movie.
How funny.
That's funny.
And then as it goes, then I'm like Google. I'm like, oh, it's like a recut, on. And I was like, but as it was like being promoted, I wasn't paying enough attention, and I didn't get I just didn't look into it to get the controversy and all that happened. But no, I love that one too. But I don't know. I just wasn't thinking on that one. I didn't hate the Justice League as much as everybody else does.
Neither does he.
Until I seen Infinity War.
Infinity War or Snyder cut?
Until I seen the Avengers. And I was like, this is...
Oh, interesting.
This is it. This is how the team teams up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I watched the first Justice League, and at the end of it, the first time I watched it, I looked around at people. I was like, okay.
This was good. Yeah.
DC can do it.
All right.
Yeah. It's not as good as the Avengers, but I thought it was still good.
Yeah.